All right, class. Today we're gonna finish chapter 7, and this is the class for July 5. So in the last class, we talked about bond characteristics, what is a bond valuation, yield to maturity, and also talked about briefly about uh, bond credit ratings. So when you're talking about bond credit ratings, we're talking about better credit rating means lower risk, worse credit rating means higher risk, right? So in that case, we also have to identify if a firm or the bond has better credit rating, they should pay lower coupon, okay? Because in the finance, the idea is the return should commensurate with the risk. That means if there is more risk, more return, less risk, less return. On that case, when you're talking about different classification of bonds, we should understand the type of bonds that should have higher coupon. We should understand the type of bond that should have higher coupon. So if the bond is secured means backed by asset, lower risk. This type of bond should have lower coupon than debenture. Debenture means high risk. Bond is subordinate means junior. At liquidation, they will be paid after senior bond. More risky, higher coupon, less risky, lower coupon. Bond with a sinking fund, less risky, lower coupon. Callable bond, more risky, higher coupon. So you should understand when you're comparing two different bonds, which one is more risky from the investor perspective, okay? Investor perspective. From the investor perspective, if any bond is higher in terms of risk, they should pay you higher coupon. Rating here. Now, so far, mostly talking about corporate bonds. So when you say corporate bonds, they are basically issued by maybe Intel, IBM, Microsoft, right? Like corporations, big corporations. But government also issue bonds. US Treasury, they use Treasury bonds, okay? T-bills are pure discount bonds. T-notes, T-bonds are coupon bonds. Municipal securities, like maybe your city council, maybe your county government, they also issue bonds. Those are known as municipal bonds, okay? Now, one of the interesting thing of municipal bond is like they're tax exempted. What does it mean by tax exempted? So let's say they're paying coupon, right? This is your income, right? As an investor, this is your income. So as an income, you have to pay tax on all of these earned coupon, right? Depending on your tax bracket, 20%, 30%, you have to pay interest on these coupon payments. But if you invest in municipal bonds, any coupon you earn from there, tax exempt, you don't need to pay any tax on a municipal bond. That's why when you're making an investment, you have to be careful because you can see other government bonds are giving you more coupons, but they are taxed. On the other hand, municipal bonds may give you less coupon, they are tax exempted. So that's why you have to compare. So let's make an example. So let's say government bond, no risk, giving you 8%. Municipal bond, giving you 6%. You can think like, okay, government bond is giving me 8%. I should invest in government bonds. No, be careful. Compare them in after-tax basis. Because if your tax bracket is 30%, you have to pay 30% on this interest rate. Your tax bracket could be different, 20, 25, anything. So depending on tax bracket, you have to pay that money here, okay? That means on the government bond, your after-tax interest is 5.6%. But on the municipal bond, your after-tax interest completely in your pocket is 6%. So this is better. So always compare. If you have the alternative option you have is municipal bond, always compare in terms of after-tax basis. So this is a two-step process. Let me tell you, it's a two-step process. When you have two options for bond investment, two-step process. First step, compare them in terms of risk. If they're similar, exactly similar, like both are AAA, both are government and municipal issued, like no problem default, similar in terms of risk, then compare in terms of after tax coupon rate, okay? Then for a similar risky bond, whoever is giving you after tax basis coupon, that's your best bet. Okay. That's your best bet. Zero coupon, we talked about that. Floating rate bonds, the key characteristics, coupon rate floats. Okay. So basically, so far what we learned, coupon rate is fixed, which is most of the bonds is fixed coupon. 80 to 90% bonds are fixed coupons. There are some bonds who are floating rate bonds, they're known as floating rate bonds, their coupon is float. Means they follow index, could be inflation, could be federal funds rate, could be something different. They follow the index. And the way that index varies, coupon will vary too. That's the coupon rate bond. So basically, each periodic payments will not be fixed. They will vary, go up and down. That's it. Some other bond types. Convertible bonds. So convertible bonds are issued in a way that at maturity or expiration, which is here, as a bond investors, you have the right to decide, do you want stocks of that corporation or not? So this is good for you because you may be holding a bond for 5 years, and during the 5 years, you have a lot of knowledge about that corporations, and you have a good trust, good faith on the business of that corporations. Now you can convert to the stock. That's a good options for you. On the other hand, for the 5 years, you didn't like the business, get out of it. So that's actually giving you an extra privilege, extra right to decide, do you want to pick the stock or no? Now, put bonds is the 180-degree upside down of call bond. Call bond comes with the right to the borrower that they can call back the bond early as discretion. Okay. Put bond is a right to the investors. When you say bond holder, the investors, they can force the company to redeem their money, to pay their money. Because in the economy, if interest rate goes up, existing bond is giving lower rate to the investors. Now, investors can ask for, give me the money, I can invest in a higher rate. So that is called put bond. Just go through these slides, very basic information. Now, one of the important thing in bond trading is clean versus dirty prices. Let me explain. So if bond is traded, coupon bond is traded only on the payment dates, then the life is easy. Because if the seller wants to sell the bond only on the payment date, seller keeps this coupon, let's say, and all this coupon is entitled to the new buyer. And if you understand carefully, all of these periods are 6 months apart, 6 months, 1 year, 1.5, like 18 months, 24 year, 30 months, 36 months, 42 months, 48 months, like 6 months apart. Now, if the bond investors want to trade the bond in the middle of the transaction. So if the seller wants to trade in the middle of these two periods, let's say this is 12 months, this is 18 months, okay? So this is 12 months, this is 18 months. If they want to trade in the middle of 15 months, who owns this coupon? There is a dilemma, there is a complexity, right? Easy answer. Because they are trading in the middle of the payment dates, this coupon is owned by, half of this coupon is owned by the seller, half of this coupon is owned by the new buyer, because they're trading in the middle of the payment dates. So basically, after the last coupon, the seller hold the bond for 3 months. So they actually, or the investor actually entitled to that periodic portion of the coupon. And the new buyer is entitled to the upcoming periodic portion of the coupon. In that case, If the coupon is, if the bond is traded in the middle of the payments, the buyer will have to pay the quoted price in the market plus the proportional of this coupon that is entitled to the seller. So that is the difference between clean and dirty price. So clean price means on any time points, that bond, how much is the market price at the secondary market, how that bond is quoted at the secondary market at any point of time, that is clean price. If the bond is only traded on the settlement dates, like payment settlement dates, the seller owns the coupon on that day and the buyer owns all these upcoming coupons, so there is no conflict. Buyer only pay the clean price, but if the bond is traded on the middle of the payment dates, seller owns the proportion, buyer owns another proportion, and the buyer has to pay quoted price plus all those accrued coupons or accrued interest. So that is called dirty price. This is an easy example, just go through it. Now let's talk about a little bit about the components of interest rate. So when you say interest rate, it has so many components, but if we only restrict our knowledge to Fisher Wald or Fisher effect, it has only two components. One is called real rate, one is called inflation. What is inflation? Inflation means persistent increase in the price level of a similar basket of goods over time. Very easy example. Look at the gas price before COVID and right now. Persistent increase, okay? I think it used to be $1.50, 60 cents. Now it's more than $3. Persistent increase in the price of same basket of goods. I'm talking about gas only, okay? This is inflation. On the other hand, real rate means when the inflation in the economy is 0%, what is the rate the economy is offering? Okay, that is called real rate. So in Fisher Wald, Fisher say that any interest rate that we see quoted by bank, quoted by institutions, quoted by bond borrower, that is a nominal rate. Any rate we see. So let's say the APR we're talking about so far, 5% APR, nominal rate. So Fisher naming this interest rate nominal interest rate, and it has a component of two things, real rate and inflation. Okay. So Fisher told that this is an approximate calculation. So the real calculation of nominal interest rate is a function of 1 plus real rate times 1 plus inflation minus 1. So that's the actual calculation. So just go through the definition. Here is the formula, and there is an example. I should strongly recommend just go through the examples. It's given, it's very easy, strongly recommend. So the final topic for this class is term structure of interest rate. So far we have done different valuation of bonds, right? So basically, bond could have 1 year of maturity, 5 year of maturity, 10 year of maturity. Let's make it easy. Let's talk in terms of only government bonds. What is that? So we know that T-bills have a maturity of less than 1 year, right? T-notes 1 to 10, T-bonds more than 10 to 30. So now, if government want to issue the bond, they decide coupon, they decide maturity, they decide face value. They have to go to the market to find the interest rate, right? Approve interest rate for this maturity, right? So basically, when we plot the interest rate at appropriate maturity, that graph is called term structure of interest rate, or that graph is called yield curve. So let's see here. Relationship between times to maturity and yields. Graphical representation is known as yield curve. So this is my yield curve, okay? So you can see that higher the maturity, interest rate is higher. So let's say if it's a 1-year bond having a interest rate of 5%, the 5-year bond could have interest rate of 7%. This is the opposite. Higher the maturity, lower the interest rate, right? So this is term structure of interest rate. So this is so far chapter 7 for this class. Let's have a quick review of the homework from chapter 7. So far, clean versus dirty price, we know that, right? Clean price is the quoted price, dirty price is the quoted price plus an accrued interest. How relationship between yield and coupon affect the price and issuance. So we know that if the coupon is higher than the yield, bond should be issued at premium, which is more than the face value, right? If they are same, equal, bond should be issued at face value, which is par. And if coupon is less, bond should be issued at lower than the face value, which is a discount. State and interpret the Fisher effect equation. We know that according to Fisher, nominal interest rate has two components. We have read an equation, talk about that. This is the two problems I think I did in the last class. So if you watch the last lecture video, I think I did it here. Where is that? Let's see. Okay, this is the problem I did it for YTM, which is last one, okay? So we did it on the last class. Just watch the video, you'll find the answer. And then for the value, yes, this one, okay? So this one I did here, okay? So that's all for chapter 1. See you on the next class. Sorry, it's chapter 7, not 1. See you on the next class.